Okay, so Libra, the Pluto South Node. Oh, before I start Libra, let me just say if you guys are interested in a reading from me, I do archetypal astrology, and like my whole thing is helping you understand how to become the hero in your own life story, on your own life journey. If you're interested in a reading with me, please see my website, www.thetruestnorth, where you can look at my services and order a reading with me. My Facebook page is The Truest North. My email address is thetruestnorth@gmail.com. And my IG is at The Truest North. So Libra, for you on April 3rd, 4th, and 5th, the Pluto South Node conjunction at 23 degrees of Capricorn is going to be happening in your fourth house of home, family, your genetic karma, ancestry, your heritage, your inner psychological base. You know, your inner psychological, your inner emotional stability. It's also like it has to do with family, but in particular, it's like the more hidden, like less dominant parent for you. And then land, real estate. Those are all fourth house things. Now, Pluto South Node and Saturn's here too, but the Pluto South Node conjunction especially is about dumping out those old outworn structures that are no longer needed, and how you approach these things. Maybe there are some, like the obvious thing that springs to mind is old, outdated, outworn psychological structures where you like learned how to emotionally cope from your family, and they're not the healthiest things for you anymore. They like Saturn and Capricorn. We tend to build those structures in order to with those energies in order to keep us safe, but they're often fear-based. And so what happens with Saturn and Capricorn is that the structures can become hardened, and we let go of them long after we hold on to them long after they've outgrown their usefulness. So if there's anything blocking you, and for most of us there is, unless you're an enlightened being already, which if you are, thank you for watching my channel, like I'm honored. But for most of us, there's work we have to do until we reach that point. And for you, Pluto South Node conjunction, and then Saturn Pluto and the South Node transiting your fourth house. This is about purging all those unhealthy psychological structures that you've learned from your family, any old genetic ancestral karma and baggage that you're carrying around with you, any blocks that you have towards your family. Let that shit go, as they say. Let it go. And Saturn and Pluto are on the Saturn on the 29th and Pluto on the 24th. They're going to be stationing retrograde. And retrograde planets appear to be closer to us and here on Earth. And so symbolically, what that represents is them becoming more conscious in our mind, or more prominent in our mind, and requiring more of our conscious attention, conscious effort. And we have to, whatever those planets stand for, review, reanalyze, reevaluate those things. Similar to Mercury retrograde, right? And with Saturn structures and Pluto death and rebirth, we need to find out we need to investigate and find out what's no longer working here, so that when in September and October, when these planets turn direct, and especially to prepare us for January 2020, when we have that Saturn Pluto conjunction at 22 to 23 degrees Capricorn, we can be ready to let that shit go. Because if we're not, Pluto is gonna like bulldoze us, and we won't know where it came from. Like, there's really no excuse for that, because we're being told what it is we need to work on right now. So let it go. The new moon in Aries, 15 degrees of Aries on April 5th at 4:50 a.m. Eastern. That's happening in your seventh house, Libra. So seventh house is the house of partnerships, relationships, those one-on-one relationships that we have with our spouse or our close friend or our business partner or our clients. How we relate to other people one-on-one, how we go out there and meet society, how we negotiate with others. Contracts and negotiations are ruled by the seventh house as well. So, you are being supported in planting new seeds and taking courageous action in the area of your one-on-one personal relationships. Yeah, like if there's something that you want to do with your partner, your spouse, or your business partner, you want to take a relationship to the next level, you are being supported in doing that, Libra. Is there some kind of contract you want to take action on, some kind of negotiation? Do that. The stars are behind you. And then Mars, the ruler of this new moon, is in Gemini and it's transiting your ninth house. So this action that you're going to take or that you should be taking in the seventh house is going to be connected to ninth house topics. So the ninth house is our belief system, our faith in God, in the universe, and life. Our aspirations, our purpose. Those topics will be sort of mixed with these seventh house topics. So they'll be working together. Ninth house is our religious beliefs, metaphysical beliefs, philosophical beliefs, how we expand our mind, higher education, traveling, dealing with people with foreign cultures, the law, the legal system, the higher courts. It's the ninth house is about integrating ourselves into larger society. And so those seventh house themes are going to be mixing with those ninth house themes. So it could be, you make a move in the seventh house to partner with someone on some kind of college or university assignment that you have. Or the ninth house is the house of gurus because it rules the expansion of the mind, metaphysics, spirituality, religion, all those things. So you form a new type, you take action to start working with or learning from a new guru, seventh house, and you build a personal relationship, somebody that, takes you under their wing and guides you and expands your mind. Ninth house, something like that. And with Gemini, it may be two gurus. So there you go. Guys, my kettle is sort of going off. I've got to go over there and pick up get my tea ready. So hold on. Okay, I'm back. All right, Libra. So the fire grand trine that's happening on April 14th is happening in your 3rd, 7th, and 11th house. Now, these are the houses of concepts, abstract thinking. They correspond to the air element. And so a fire grand trine in these houses are just going to give you a lot of luck and ease and support in understanding abstract concepts and ideas. And you're going to have the ability to communicate these so smoothly. It's like having a golden tongue. And, you're just going to have the ability to communicate this to other people so smoothly. And through that, you can, have successful business negotiations, successful partnerships, successful communication with your partner or close friends or clients, and successful communication within any successful communication and networking within any large groups that you're a part of. Or if you have an audience, you'll be able to just connect with them on a whole other level. So this is a day where air signs, you want it like Libra, but Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius are going to be having this grand trine in these houses. This is a day when you want to talk, write, connect with other people, and great things can come from that. Uh, the full moon on the 19th, Libra, that is happening in your first house at 29 degrees of Libra. So again, you're getting a second chance after last month to bring some sort of issue regarding relationships, balanced relationships, harmony, equality, diplomacy. You're getting a second chance to bring that to completion. And in your first house, it's very personal. It has to do with you. How do you balance? How do you approach relationships? How do you act as a balancing force? Are you giving? Are your relationships equal? Are you giving too much, or are you getting? Or are you taking too much? It very much has to do with you. And the first house always has to do with, initiating something, and it's your physical body. So, it may very much have something to do with your look, or, you taking action that day to, bring something to, like, manifest something, bring something to fruition. With that full moon energy. Because first house, whenever we act and there's anything going on with the first house, we tend to be supported in, taking action there. Full moon is going to be in conjunct the ruler Venus and Pisces in your sixth house. Now, this revelation that you're going to get with this full moon that's happening in your first house is the body, just to let you know. You're going to have to, just to remind you, the sixth house, there's going to be some kind of adjustment that's going to be needed to make these areas of your life work together once you get this revelation from the full moon. So I talked to you about what the first house of self is, your body, how you take action, how you initiate. It very much reflects on your physical body that's out here, interacting with the world and doing things. And then the sixth house, it has to do with the internal workings of the body. It's a health house. It has to do with your daily routine, how you use the body to provide service to other people, how you provide service to people who depend on you. It's what we do for work, as our work in the world. It is also how we care for people who are, who depend on us for some reason. So, maybe you work with, people who are more like in like a lower social class than you, or like they underprivileged. That's the word I'm looking for. Who are less privileged than you, who, pets would be, pets are also like a sixth house thing because our pets depend on us. The perfection of your skills in some way, like it could be related to this as well. That's a sixth house thing. Debt, how you solve your problems. And again, like monetary financial debts that we owe to other people, or any kind of debt really that we owe to someone else. That's the sixth house. Sixth house is the place that we go to solve the problems of everyday life. And so how you're solving those problems in everyday life, whether it be related to your work routine, your health, your work routine, your health, your skills, people that depend on you, you're going to have to find some kind of adjustment to make that work with your own individuality and autonomy and independence. That's very, first house, how you go out there and take action and what you do versus, the responsibilities that we find in the sixth house. And often, it's in the sign of Pisces. Pisces tends to indicate some kind of surrender, letting go, sacrifice. So those may be, you may find that you have to sacrifice something in the sixth to achieve, to sacrifice something in the sixth to sort of benefit from this first house revelation that the moon is going to provide you with. Because the full moon is the moon at her most powerful. It's when she's the most giving. It's when, she supports us the most. So Sun conjunct Uranus at 2 degrees of Taurus in your 8th house. That's going to happen on April 22nd. Sun conjunct Uranus is always excitement, stimulation, a desire to break free from routine. You don't want to listen to anybody. You want to rebel from what is expected of you. And in your 8th house, and that's happening in your 8th house of shared resources, bonded, shared resources. So this is what we have access to that other people own. So other people's money, resources, talents. And it's also what we receive from other people. It's where we deeply bond, intimately bond with another person. So it has a lot. So it does have to do with sexuality, like real sexuality, intimate sexuality. It's a deeply psychological house. It's where we hide things that we would rather people not know about us. It's where we consciously repress things. And it's also those things that we're interested in that are hidden from the rest of the world. So like deep research, occult, mystery topics. And it's also the house of our traumatic experiences. So Sun conjunct Uranus here, like I can see that happening as stuff that has been repressed, like bubbling up and causing you to act in an unpredictable manner related to those 8th house topics. So maybe sex, or maybe acting out of the ordinary in some kind of intimate relationship that you have, or acting out of the ordinary with other people's resources, or any shared resources that you 8th house is shared resources, where we mix our peanut butter with someone else's jelly. Or, now this would be great because the 8th house is the house of deep research. So it's like deep scientific research, deep mystical learning, occult learning, deep psychological studies. Uranus is like the higher mind. So you can get some like brilliant ideas on that day if you're into any of those subjects, or if you're studying anything that requires intense concentration and just a lot of time alone, and you're like that focused on it. This could give you some brilliant insight on that day into those subjects, because the 8th house is one of those psychological houses that connects to the collective unconscious, and that's where you can tap into the powers of the unseen realms, and like the Akashic records. So yeah, pretty cool month for you, Libra, right? Okay, so there you go. That was your horoscope for the month, Libra. Enjoy.